Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health TV and radio show. I'm your host, Sara Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of three. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you're notified every week with my new podcasts on Mondays and Tuesdays. And if you haven't already, join my free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and you will be a part of a like-minded group to support you on your journey, in addition to truly taking control of your health. My goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who may need my help. Today, we are talking about your guide to a professional colon cleanse. And if you are a mom out there, you know that the most important thing when that baby comes out of you is, are they eating, sleeping, and pooping, right? Eating, sleeping, and pooping. And every time they ate, they pooped. That's what the human body is supposed to do. And I got to tell you, TMI, but if I don't poop, you don't want to be around me. It is, I get anxious. I just feel icky. And I go back and forth with some of my best friends saying, did you poop today? And even when my kids were younger, I'd always ask, did you poop today? Because it's really important to get those toxins out. And many of you feel the need for a cleanse and you don't know where to start. So before you embark on any type of cleanse, it's imperative to make sure your colon is open and able to release any of the toxins you're flushing out of the body. You've got to think about it as the bottom pipe. And you don't want to start flushing out the top pipes and then they're going to have a log jam at the end, right? If they can't go out. So if the colon isn't clean, all of those toxins you're trying to release are only going to be reabsorbed by the body through the colon, increasing toxic load on the body, making your symptoms worse. And that's when you can get nauseous and feel icky. You may be sluggish or feeling stuck emotionally, mentally, and physically. Unexplained weight gain, brain fog, fatigue, slow metabolism. Yes, your colon holding those toxins can actually slow your metabolism and cause water retention. It's crazy. You've got to think about all of your organs are right there together, your kidneys and your bladder and your colon. And if you're retaining poop, then water is going to be in the kidneys and the bladder around there, holding there in there as well. And if the poop isn't coming out, the water is going to be going out of the colon walls and then that's where you get that impaction or the sticky, hard poop. You also might have inflammation. Constipation can make a joint pain worse, hair loss worse, bloat, gas, and of course the constipation. So signs that you need a colon cleanse. The colon is responsible for eliminating the waste and the toxins out of the body. And a clogged colon can cause those toxins, as I mentioned, to build up, reabsorb into the blood, and even create a thick mucoid plaque on the walls of the intestines. You might have like 10 to 20 pounds of mucoid plaque that your poop actually just goes right by. And this plaque is like tar against the walls of your intestine. Mucoid plaque is that buildup of mucus and other substances in the intestine, and it's thick, rubbery, potentially toxic layer that accumulates on the inner walls of the digestive tract, obstructing the absorption of the nutrients. So here you are eating your food and you're not absorbing those nutrients because of that mucoid plaque. So it's essential to clear out this buildup and have 2 to 3 bowel movements daily. Some of the common side effects and complications of constipation. So discomfort and pain. I mean, I had, like I said, I'm going to get into TMI this podcast. I hope you don't mind. But just the other day, I hadn't had my bowel movement yet. I literally had to limp because it was affecting my left leg, and when I was walking, because it was straining a muscle that linked to my leg. So you can have those pains and you might think, okay, maybe it's my menstrual cycle or it's PMS and it's the cramps. Well, it could be cramps from your constipation as well, because when you are PMSing or you're on your cycle, that can affect your constipation or your regularity. So can the full moon and the new moon. That's why I always post about those, to make sure you're keeping track of when that happens, because that can cause water retention and constipation. Straining during bowel movements can also lead to pain in the rectal area. Bloating and gas. So when the stool and the mucoid plaque accumulate in the colon, it can cause bloating and excess gas production, leading to discomfort and a feeling of fullness. It might cause bad breath because of the buildup of the waste and the toxins in the body. It might cause you to have a decreased appetite. So sometimes if your stomach feels full, or you think it's your stomach, but it's really your colon with constipation, it feels like there's no room in that gut to eat food. And so you might feel full, making it a challenging to eat. And then you might reach for the wrong foods. Fatigue and irritable. I'm fatigued, I'm irritable if I don't poop. So the discomfort, and it can also disrupt your sleep associated with that constipation, then can lead to the fatigue and the irritability. So it's almost like this vicious cycle. You can have incomplete evacuation. So with constipation or a backed up colon or that buildup of mucoid plaque, it can result in having incomplete bowel movements, leaving the sensation of it's just not all out yet, right? It can also cause and contribute to estrogen dominance. Now, the rate of estrogen dominance in men and women has skyrocketed because of the toxins and the radiation and the increased estrogens in our water supply, our food supply, our air. Well, on top of that, without regular elimination of the waste, those excess estrogens get reabsorbed into the bloodstream and then increase the estrogen dominance even more. So then there's even a higher rate of hormonal imbalance in both men and women. And then you get the men with the man boobs, the hair falling out, the lack of muscle tone, and just a lack of energy. You will have possibly an impaired quality of life. So it's going to affect your activities, your work. Like I mentioned, I'm irritable. I have a hard time thinking because you literally have poop in your brains, right? Because all of those toxins are getting recycled into the body. You might not want to go out in public. You might not want to leave your home and after, if you don't go to the bathroom, or if you have gas, or you just don't want to be in a public arena where it might be embarrassing. So it's really important to make sure that this is not a situation that you have to deal with. Some people get hemorrhoids. So straining during bowel movements can increase the risk of developing hemorrhoids, which are the swollen blood vessels in the rectum and anus, and they can cause pain, itching, and bleeding. Some people get anal fissures, and these are these small tears in the lining of the anus. And these tears can cause pain and bleeding, especially during the bowel movement. And then you don't want to strain, but you've got constipation and you know you need to get it out. And then it's this vicious cycle. So then in severe cases, the chronic constipation can lead to more serious issues such as fecal impaction, when the hard stools become trapped in the rectum. So if the stool is not coming out regularly, the water gets extracted out of the colon, and then there's just this dry, hard mass. And a lot of people need to then go to the hospital and get help with the poop to come out. And then there can be a bowel obstruction, or just any diverticulitis, that kind of thing, which is a formation of pouches in the colon wall that can become inflamed or infected. and a change in bowel habits. So long-term constipation can sometimes lead to change in bowel habits, such as dependency on laxatives or enemas to have a bowel movement. Travel can cause constipation. And like I mentioned, the full moon, the new moon, menstrual cycles, changes in hormonal issues, changes in diet. Say you get off track and you start eating processed foods. We're going to get into that in a minute, but those foods can severely disrupt your constipation. If anyone missed yesterday's podcast with Karan Krishnan, we talked about gut microbiome and weight gain and weight loss. And it was so impactful as far as what the gut is telling the rest of the body and how it's impacting your insulin resistance, your nutritional absorption, your brain, everything, even your weight gain and your weight loss. And the colon and constipation is part of that. So make sure you go back and watch that with Karan. It was on yesterday. So what will the accelerated colon cleanse detox program do for you? It's going to detox the toxins out of the body gently, induce regular bowel movements, because what I want to do for you is to make sure that you have no stress over pooping, that you're going to have a bowel movement every single day, regardless of what you eat. So it's going to induce those regular bowel movements, improve your digestion and your immune system, because your immune system's in your intestines, right? It's going to increase the energy. If your body is working on that toxic poop in there that it can't get out, the energy's not there for your physical movement and activities and your brain activity. It's also going to help get rid of the bloat and the intestinal pain and aid in your weight loss goals. So constipation is caused by a few things. You have microbes in your gut, right? You need about 4 to 5 pounds of microbes in your digestive system to do 90% of the digestion to break down food. So if you've been on antibiotics in your life, those microbes are compromised. And I have to say, my mom has been on pain medication because of an injury, right? Well, that injury has killed her gut, or those pain pills have. So then comes the UTI. So then the doctor lays in on the antibiotics, and you better believe that she is on all of my gut healing supplements and probiotics to help rebuild that gut, because now going into fall and winter, she is in a really high risk for getting the flu or the cold or anything else that comes around. And I'm making sure she's pooping. I'm treating her like a child. And so some of you moms out there know that we raise our kids and then we start taking care of our parents, right? So those microbes are so important. And so if you have an overpopulation of the bad bacteria in the gut, or too much fermentation from foods like sauerkraut and drinks like kombucha that we think are so healthy. Oh my gosh, I used to eat kombucha by the forks full. Those can actually make the problems worse. If you feel bloated when you take probiotics, it might be a sign that your gut microbiome is out of balance, or you're taking too much of a good thing. You have to remember that the world of probiotics is only like 10 years old, and all of the experts are still learning themselves. So you are your best doctor. If taking a probiotic is not working for you, that might actually be hurting you. Next is bile. So bile is made by the liver and stored in the gallbladder, and it's there to help digest fat. If you have a sluggish gallbladder or gallstones, you may not be able to digest fat very easily. Well, how would you know that? I know that when I need a liver flush is when when I eat a meal that tends to be a little more fatty, and I get nauseous because my body's not able to break down that fat. Other signs of being what's called fat malabsorbed is if you get the bumps on the backs of your arms, or if you are bloated, you feel really fatigued after a high fat meal. This is why I'm not a proponent of a high-fat ketogenic diet for most people. Yes, I love ketosis, but there's a way to get into ketosis with the accelerated keto and intermittent fasting. So your body's snacking on your own fat stores, but then supporting it with a high wild animal protein diet and then the right vegetables for your DNA. But back to the bile, if you have a sluggish gallbladder or gallstones, you're not digesting that fat very easily and you get nauseous or constipated, experience right shoulder pain, or become bloated after eating fat, you may be low in bile. And you can use two supplements, beta TCP or the choline inositol, to aid in the fat metabolism. A lot of people are needing that with the last 3 years and everything that's been going on. The increase in processed foods, the spiked protein, the 5G, the smart meters, radiation, the toxins in the food, the halogens like fluoride, bromide and chlorine, lead and mercury. All of these things are stacking up and causing gallstones and liver stones in the gallbladder and the liver that is slowing down the liver function. And you think, oh, well, I'll just, get off the sugar and get off the carbs and do a high fat ketogenic diet. Well, maybe too much fat is not right for you. In my house, I can't eat a high fat diet. My other daughter can't. My husband can't. My son needs about 5,000 calories a day. He can eat as much fat as he wants, and same with my other daughter. So everybody is different, and it might be in different stages of your health. After a liver flush, you might be able to incorporate a higher fat diet. So you have to really listen to your body. And if you are starting a ketogenic diet, what I recommend is, like I mentioned, you use the accelerated keto to kick you into ketosis. Ride the wave of keto, let your body heal and cleanse out. And remember, the keto actually helps cleanse the liver on a daily basis as well, and breaks down that saturated fat into unsaturated fat. So that will help, but then you prioritize that wild animal protein and the vegetables. And we're going to get into the vegetables in a minute, but you don't start out with a high fat diet. Stomach acid. So if you have indigestion or heartburn, you may not have enough stomach acid to break down the foods, and this could be a part of your constipation issue. As we age, stomach acid, or HCl, decreases, and in fact, acid reflux, which becomes common, is caused by too little stomach acid, not too much. So if you're taking the PPIs or the Tums, you're actually making it worse, because it's just stopping the stomach acid from that short term, like not coming up right away, but it's actually making the stomach acid worse. You need strong stomach acid to break down your foods. Fiber. So this is the food for your microbes. It's not needed for bowel movements. They've done studies on more fiber does not help with constipation. It can actually make it worse. Too little fiber, it's this fine balance. Too much of a good thing is not great. So you want to get fiber from vegetables, not from grains. The grains can cause leaky gut, inflammation, and malabsorption of nutrients. They actually steal nutrients from your body. The gluten and the quinoa and some of the brown rice and some of the grains that you think are healthy, they're full of lectins and they're full of gluten and GMOs and glyphosate. They're causing leaky gut. And if you listen to Karan from yesterday, he talks about leaky gut being a cause of weight gain. Specifically in the twin study, overweight person and a thin twin, and same upbringing, same food, changed their microbiome, and they can lose or gain weight. So it is all about the gut. So the wrong vegetables, to complicate things further. Some vegetables, and by the way, some of these vegetables you may have been able to eat 5 years ago, but now because of glyphosate and what they're doing to these vegetables, things are worse. They can cause constipation, leaky gut, and bloat depending on your genetic makeup. And if you find yourself bloated, gassy, or constipated, you want to eliminate those vegetables. Remember, you are your best doctor. The most common groups of vegetables that can cause issues are sulfur vegetables. These are the low carb, ketogenic great veggies like cauliflower and broccoli, cabbage, bok choy, kale. Then you've got the lectins. The lectins are the grains we talked about, the beans, even some, the squashes and zucchinis have lectins, but much less, and most people can handle those. Oxalates. Oxalates are kale, almonds, spinach. Those can wreak havoc on the gut, trip up the gut pathogens, causing more gut issues and leading to constipation and colon issues. And then you've got the nightshade family. Actually, a lot of people are able to do some of the nightshades, but not all. So again, it's best to really measure your feelings after you eat to see what is causing bloat and constipation. And just because it's a healthy food, it actually might be the cause of your constipation. And they can also be blocking your detoxification pathways. So then your liver is struggling even more on top of all of the toxins it's taking in. So an easy way to find out if you're sensitive to any of these groups and you don't know where to start, you can try a carnivore-ish diet for a few weeks. Focus on wild animal protein, watch the inflammation disappear, use romaine lettuce, cucumbers, zucchini, asparagus, artichoke. Those seem to be vegetables that most people are fine with. And then you can slowly introduce others back in and see how you react. A lack of exercise. So movement helps stimulate the bowels to move. And as you move, it increases the blood flow, stimulates the intestines to strengthen their muscles as well. So you've got your muscles that you strengthen in the gym. You've got your reading muscles, your brain muscles, your manifestation muscles. You've got your quad muscles, but you also have your bowel and your colon muscles. So you want to move to help stimulate and strengthen them. So the benefits of a colon cleanse, because of the side effects of constipation, it's imperative that you address this, and you want to be having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. Remember, those babies ate and pooped, ate and pooped, ate and pooped. That's what we're supposed to do as humans. And our dogs, when I feed my dogs, they go straight outside and they pee and they poop. And that's what we're supposed to do. So what will we see as a benefit? You will have improved digestion and regularity, and it will help remove the buildup waste, the mucoid plaque, and the fecal matter from the colon, which will improve digestion, regular bowel movements, and you're going to also improve your detoxification. So here you are saying, Sara, I need a detox, but I don't know where to start. You got to start with your colon. Colon cleanse is often promoted as the way to detox the body by removing the most dense toxins and excess estrogens and the waste. It will help take off the burden of the liver and the kidneys, because if you're not pooping, those toxins are going to be recycled back into the liver and the kidneys. You're going to see an increase in energy and vitality. So many people are suffering from low energy, fatigue. They don't know why. Well, there's a lot of reasons. We are all becoming hypothyroid and our thyroids aren't working well. So that's part of the issue. We're all overloaded with toxins, but if we're not pooping, that's also going to weigh you down and slow down your energy. And it can help with weight loss. The colon cleansing may lead to temporary weight loss due to just maybe pounds of poop coming out of you. I'm sure a lot of you weighed yourself, pooped, and then weighed yourself again, and the scale told you that you just lost 5 pounds. Well, obviously, that's not fat weight, and that goes back to why you throw away the bathroom scale if you're looking at your body composition. But it will tell you that you really had a lot of backup that you need to help cleanse your body, and it will improve the detoxification and help with everything else working. So what we want to do before we get into the supplements and the colon cleanse, we need to first eliminate the wrong vegetables. And as I mentioned, the four main categories are the sulfur, oxalates, lectins, and nightshades. The sulfur and the oxalates are the most important, which it seems for most people. Sulfur is the broccoli and the cauliflower, cabbage. Now, for me, I could not touch any of these a while back. My gut is healed. If I go out to a restaurant and I'm served cauliflower, I can handle that. Cannot handle those Brussels sprouts because they have more sulfur than the others. So some of them are worse than others. Oxalates, I could not touch them for a while. I was passing kidney stones. And for anyone who has had a child and gone through labor and delivery, a kidney stone is worse. I don't recommend it. And that's why I have my kidney stone cleanse. But oxalates can cause kidney stones, gout, hypothyroidism. Those oxalates love to gravitate to the thyroid and to the joints, but they can also disrupt the gut and cause the gut pathogens to take over, bloat, gas, constipation. Lectins can cause leaky gut as well, especially the ones from the grains, the beans. Think about it. If you're a vegan, where are you getting your proteins? Grains and beans, grains and beans. This is something that a lot of vegans have trouble with. And then they're not getting any nutrients from any of the foods they're taking in addition to not taking in enough protein. And these foods are full of carbs and end up causing insulin resistance, among other things. But lectins are in those grains and beans mostly. And then you've got the foods like the peppers and some of the others. But I'm finding that bell pepper, even though it's lectins, is fine for me and for my family. And so that's a food that you might be able to eat, even though it's a lectin. And then those in the nightshade family, I'm okay with nightshades. So it depends on your state of health, but those are the four groups to look at. So if you're sensitive to one vegetable in one of those categories, then you might want to look at all of the vegetables in that category and abstain from them until you heal your gut. Eliminate the GMO foods, the amyloid proteins. And so what does that mean? Most non-organic foods and vegetables are GMO, and they're sprayed with glyphosate. Those foods cause leaky gut, and they're going to rip out the lining in your gut, cause issues with your mucoid or your mucus lining in there. And then the bad guys take over the good guys. You're not going to absorb the food. You're not going to be able to break it down. And then throw in the amyloid proteins like the chicken, the turkey, the pork, conventionally raised beef. Don't shoot the messenger. I used to be a chicken salad person on a daily basis. Chicken's the lean white meat, right? Well, no, that chicken's not even being broken down to use for those muscles that you want to build up, right? And those amyloid proteins are these misfolded proteins, and what happens, they become truncated and misfolded, and they may not be easily assimilated in the body. The body can't break them down to then put together those amino acids and send them to your shoulder muscles or your biceps or your hair, and they don't get used. But what else they do is they actually will cause the bad guys in the gut to overtake the good guys. And these amino acids from protein are needed for the body to build enzymes and antibodies and hormones. So these amyloids they don't do any of that. And they're linked to chronic diseases like type 1 diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autoimmune disease. So in order to avoid them, focus on eating the wild meats such as wild fish, deer, duck, bison. Bison is the number one most nutrient dense food on earth. Bison live, I think it's 2 to 3 times longer than beef. So their nutrient density is even higher than beef. And elk would be second. And then you go along the line. So wild boar, Cornish game hen, and there's great companies around the country that offer these foods that can be delivered to your door. North Star Bison is my favorite one. You can use coupon Sara Banta for 10% off. I love their company, and the food is fantastic. Then you want to adjust the amount of vegetables you eat. So like I mentioned, too little, too much. There's just that right amount. If you're eating too many, that can lead to bloat and overburden your already stressed intestines to move too much fiber through. And if you're not eating enough, you may increase the food or prebiotics to feed your gut bacteria. In other words, you don't want to eat too much or too little, and you need to maybe experiment with yourself, and it might change with your week. I mean, there are nights when I go carnivore, and then there are nights where I just have a small bit of protein and then more vegetables to flush out what my body has in it. And it's really interesting. I've just become more in tune with my body to realize how it responds to these. So now, the accelerated colon cleanse. This is a group of supplements that is going to just get you started. And we start out with the gut superhero. I've been on this supplement long before accelerated health products was even in existence. It was one of my very first supplements. It is a combination of 6 organic ingredients, the only one on earth, including micronized zeolite, diatomaceous earth, activated charcoal, triphala, slippery elm, ozonated magnesium oxide. So what is amazing about this is you could actually use it. Say you had snake venom, right? So you get bit by a snake, you can actually put it on topically to soak up that toxins. If you're a college student and you had a little too much to drink last night, it will soak up that alcohol. If you got food poisoning in Bali and you have Bali belly, yes, you want your accelerated silver, but the accelerated cellular detox powder soaks up those toxins. It also, on a daily basis, is soaking up the toxins from the food and the toxins coming out of the water faucet on your head when you are showering. And it's taking hold of all of the pesticides and insecticides and everything we're exposed to. Even if your house isn't sprayed, your neighbors might be, or your kids might be in an elementary school where they're getting sprayed with insecticides and pesticides, or this overspray from the non-organic crops to the organic crops. So all of these things, as much as we're trying to do our best, we're getting hit with these toxins. So the accelerated cellular detox powder soaks them up. And those are those toxins that contribute to IBS and constipation. It also reduces inflammation in the intestines, reduces bloat, and balances the doshas, what are called doshas in Ayurvedic medicine. So if you run constipated or you run more diarrhea-ish, it will balance that out and it will help you. It's also enhanced with scalar frequencies, like all of the accelerated supplements, to increase the efficacy, but also to clear emotional and physical shock from the body, to detox the body even more from the pesticides and insecticides, and to detox the body from the heavy metals and radiation. I personally take 1 to 2 teaspoons at night, and I love it. It tastes like nothing, right? It tastes like dirt. So I put a little apple cider vinegar in my water over ice with a little stevia, or some of the mega pre or mega mucosa, which I'll go into in a minute, which tastes really good, and it tastes super yummy. And drink that and I go to bed. The next supplement with it is the OxyClear, and this has been magic for so many people. It provides digestive and detox support. It is magnesium oxide. So this is not to be looked at as a magnesium supplement. You need magnesium for so many things in the body, but what this is the OxyClear provides that gentle, natural bowel relief for those who struggle with constipation, but it creates oxygen in the intestine and helps kill off the bad bacteria in there. And it will help with complete bowel elimination. For those who are severely constipated, this works. And after a cheat day, you can take 4 to 6 of them. It will clear out those cheat foods from the system and help you feel great the next day. Now, do I recommend that all the time? No, because then you're not going to be absorbing nutrients, and those cheat foods also could be causing leaky gut and a bad microbiome, but it will help clean those things out. Next is the accelerated silver, and it is my number one supplement. It's enhanced with scalar frequencies and treated with the proprietary water implosion technology for that increased efficacy. If you really are having a hard understanding of this, the theory behind scalar, go to sarabantahealth.com and look up the article on scalar frequencies, and I go through it. But it helps devitalize all the foreign pathogens that may lead to leaky gut, constipation, and gut motility. I know that if I have E. coli or if I'm sick and fighting a virus, I'm more constipated. The gut motility is not working as well. So the accelerated silver is helping your immune system stay strong. It's programmed with scalar frequencies to clear that emotional and physical shock, improve the health of the thymus, which is your immune system, improve lung function. You can nebulize it if you have any bronchitis or pneumonia or any other lung virus that you've contracted. It helps devitalize viruses and bacteria. Next is the Megaspore. And this is what Karan and I were talking about yesterday. The Megaspore is not like any other probiotic. Most probiotics, number one, can't survive the stomach acid. Number two, they're full of too much of a good thing, and that can create an imbalance in the gut. This is a probiotic that has been shown to maintain that healthy gut barrier and immune function and give you resilience in your gut. It has a biphasic life cycle, and these spores remain dormant in the harsh environments until they reach the human gastrointestinal tract. So once it's inside the large intestine, these spores change into their active forms and begin colonizing the gut. So it's like they wake up and they say, oh, we need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, and not any of this. And it reseeds with the probiotic strains that the gut needs. It helps control the bad bacteria and grow the good bacteria. And it's been shown to help with E. coli, salmonella, H. pylori, and more. Now, what we talked about with Karan is the combination of the Megaspore and the Mega Pre has, with college students who are not changing their diets from pizza and beer, within, I believe it was 8 weeks, lowered their visceral fat by 45%. Mega Pre and Megaspore Biotic. And this is why the Mega Pre, Megaspore, and the Mega Mucosa are the 3 in my leaky gut bundle. But this is an option to add into the colon cleanse. The Mega Pre helps feed the spores in the Megaspore, so the increase is that much more quick, right? And it has it's a supplement made up of these clinically tested non-digestible oligosaccharides that can increase the microbial diversity and feed those beneficial bacteria that Karan was talking about, Akkermansia and I'm gonna chop this one up, Faecalibacterium and Bifidobacteria. So it reinforces the beneficial microbial changes from the Megaspore. And then you add in the Mega Mucosa. Now, mind you, the Mega Pre and the Mega Mucosa, I look forward to drinking. They taste super yummy, and they're almost like a treat or a dessert. But the mucosal system is a very important part of the human intestinal system. It is, the intestines contain over 150 times more surface area than your skin, and it's really important for your immune system. The Mega Mucosa, it helps heal that the intestinal lining, and it includes immunoglobulins, amino acids. And I wanted to touch on the amino acids. And this is why wild animal protein is also important. There are 4 key amino acids that play an important role in the production of intestinal mucosa: L-proline, L-serine, L-cysteine, and L-threonine. And they've been shown to support mucin production and maintain mucin synthesis in the colon. That results in a thick, healthy mucosal barrier. And then it also has citrus polyphenols, and that has been shown to increase the short chain fatty acid composition that helps modulate the microbiome in the gut as well. So that is your accelerated colon cleanse. Now, other optional supplements that you could use: Laxacomfort. So this is a game changer for a lot of people that say, I only poop once a week. This will help. And sometimes people like to use the combination of the OxyClear and the Laxacomfort, changing the dosages. So you kind of keep tricking your body, but Laxacomfort helps relieve gassiness and helps with induce a bowel movement within 6 to 8 hours. There's another one called Intestinal Formula. A lot of people like that one. For me, it's got garlic in it, and that is sulfur. So I can't take the Intestinal Formula. It's like fire in my gut, but it can help with elimination as well. Mega IgG 2000, which is here, and it has been shown to reduce gut permeability. I like to think of it as the vacuum that's kind of cleaning up the things that aren't supposed to be there. And it's something that I take on a daily basis as well. Next is magnesium breakthrough. Like I mentioned, magnesium oxide is not to be looked at as a magnesium supplement, but magnesium breakthrough has over 7 types of magnesium specifically formulated to reach every tissue in the body. But magnesium participates in over 600 different biochemical reactions in the body, and 80% of you are not getting enough. So this is also a very gentle way to get the right magnesium for your body, but it also can help with bowel movements. It's very gentle. Now, Restore Flora. This is a probiotic that contains 3 well-studied and widely used probiotic strains if you have been on antibiotics. So this is an addition to the Megaspore, Megapre, and Megamucosa. Those would be the first 3 that you would want to take, but this is something to add in, especially if you've done a course of antibiotics. Zen Biome. So Zen Biome is a great one that we've talked about with Quran that helps with that gut-brain axis. So I know during my years of being constipated and not knowing, am I going to go to the bathroom or not? There's stress. And then you have stress and you become anal retentive. There's a reason they call little kids anal retentive. Do you know of those kids that were potty trained to urinate, right, in the toilet, but they held in their poop until they had their diaper back on? There's a reason, because they literally are retaining and they're anal retentive, not letting their poop out. It's almost like this stress response. Well, the Zen Biome Dual helps target the gut-brain axis and the gastrointestinal discomfort related to the psychological stress. And it helps with digestive discomfort, abdominal discomfort, and gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, but improving the mood and helping with your energy and vitality and focus. So that is something that some people do need. Now, Acceleradine, and I wanted to just touch on your thyroid, because when your thyroid is slow, your gut motility is slow, you might be constipated, you're retaining water, and there's this whole backup. And your thyroid is your master endocrine gland. It's controlling your adrenals. And if your adrenals are wiped out, then you're going to be retaining water because your kidneys are inflamed, because your adrenals sit on top of your kidneys. And it's all connected, right? So, and your liver, if your liver's backed up, the T4 doesn't convert into T3 if you've got Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism. So it's important that you need the iodine for that T4 and 3, 4 molecules of iodine and 3 molecules of iodine. That's why acceleradine is super important. It helps with that oxidation, increasing ATP, which is true cellular energy, and that will be increased by 18 times. So if your energy is increasing at the cellular level, then your energy is increasing in your intestines and you're able to get things moving again. And working with the accelerated thyroid. When I take these supplements, I not only feel a lift in my mood, but I actually feel my gut motility working, that drain dampness, the excess waters coming out of my body much easier, and my constipation goes away. I see a difference monthly during the month, or if I'm traveling, or if I am psychologically stressed. I will be anal retentive and retaining my bowel movements. And that's part of this gut, brain, thyroid, energy, cellular it's system. It's all connected. And Karan and I discussed the HPA axis, the HPT, and the HPG, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, or gonadal, meaning your hormones. All of those axes are connected and you have to target all of them. And it's almost like this domino effect of things working versus not working. So yes, we're talking about colon cleanse, but you've got to think about everything is connected. And if you're not eating the right foods and you're eating the processed foods, which is a whole nother story, one meal can disrupt and cause leaky gut if that is including the processed foods with too much fructose, no fiber, the seed oils, the artificial sweeteners, the lack of amino acids that can wipe out your gut. So using these supplements is going to give your gut resilience, and a lot of your pains, your lack of energy, your brain fog, all of these symptoms are going to start going away. And then you can add in the more comprehensive cleanses like the Ascent Diet Cleanse, the Accelerated Keto Detox Cleanse, the Kidney Cleanse, the Candida Cleanse. All of those work on top of what we're talking about here. Now, if you want to start, the Ascent Diet Cleanse includes some of these supplements. So you're going to be pooping as you're cleansing your body. So you feel a huge boost of energy day one, you're pooping, things are moving, the toxins are getting flushed out, and you're feeling great. One last supplement I forgot to tell you, the Accelerated Ancient Salt. People do salt flushes. Taking high doses of salt can actually induce a bowel movement. So that's something to think about. If you're really constipated, you could be low in electrolytes. So I covered a lot of information today. I hope that was helpful. Let me know, are you constipated? How often do you go? Do you go 2 to 3 times a day? Leave a comment below or join the group chat on my Telegram with the link below and let me know. And ask your other questions. We'll troubleshoot. We'll put together a program for you and everyone will learn from you. In that group chat, on Telegram, you will be a part of an amazing like-minded group to support you on your journey. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, across over 100 channels under Accelerated Health TV and Radio Show. And like I mentioned before, my goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who may need my help and may not be pooping. They might be filled with that crap that is slowing them down. Join us every week on Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific. You can find the supplements and all my podcasts and articles at sarabantahealth.com. Use coupon WELCOME10 for 10% off site-wide. Thanks again for joining us here and have a great week.